This is my why am I a Firestorm? Why am I a Firestorm fan? And I am talking about the DC Comics. I'm talking about the DC Comics superhero, and the original Firestorm, Ronnie Raymond. That is a white man. First got exposed to Firestorm. Firestorm in the final Super Friends cartoon, Galactic Guardians, which I saw reruns of on Cartoon Network, and it has a excellent intro with Firestorm being shown. He is shown flying. He flies through robots. He uses some type of havoc blast or some type of energy blast that makes the robots vibrate and then they explode. He isn't shown that much, but when he is shown, he's a standout and he looks excellent with that feat being shown in the intro. And he also has this, great, colorful, bright colors costume, exactly what you'd expect with the name of Firestorm. Great, excellent design. He has this, you can see this right there. He has literal flames on top of his head. This is like the New Earth version, the current continuity version. And so he has that flame, badass, great design, excellent design, unique design of the flames fire on top of his head. He also has this like headpiece, which is it's pretty much similar to what Gambit has, where it comes around right here, it covers up his ears, and it's pretty much similar to what the X-Men Gambit has. He also has this these eyes right here that you can see, which are, it has like black around them, but it also has white, so it's like black and it's black and white. It's mostly, that isn't a mask right there. Those are really his eyes, which are there's some portions of black and then white, so it's like Inhuman and Ghost. It's an Inhuman and Ghost style look for his eyes, so that's a pretty badass feature. Also, he has these, for his tights, instead of like the usual tights like that's close to the skin like Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, and other superheroes have, it's close to his sweatshirt sleeves style right here, so that's definitely a unique feature. It's not a dime a dozen. He does have these like long gloves, and he does have this like this whole leotard piece, which I'm really not a fan of the whole thing with the trunks, which got removed, but still, it's still this whole great feature of with these like shoulder pads, which is shown curving up, and this great design of no doubt nuclear energy shown here, and this whole nuclear energy being shown here with the white and the whole circle of the red. And he has this, and then you have like the typical dime a dozen. You have the common high boots, and as you can see, he does have his colors that he has. It's pretty much similar to, it's the same as what the Kansas. It's the great set of colors, which are a somewhat of some black, and then it's has more kind of white after the black, and then it's mostly red and yellow, same colors that the Kansas City Chiefs use. So he does have a great costume with the color, an excellent unique costume with the colors and the badass look with the ghost style eyes, all white eyes, along with the flame on top of his head. It's an excellent unique look. It makes him stand out from the it makes him stand out not just if he's in the Justice League, but also when he was with the Super Friends and Galactic Guardians. And Ronnie Raymond he's similar. It's similar to that whole Peter Parker, where he's a kind, likable guy, except this is a jock. Peter Parker's a nerd. Ronnie Raymond is a kind, likable guy, and he's a jock, and that's a huge difference. And I played sports as a kid, soccer, baseball, etc. So I have that connection with him because he is a jock, and I also did play football for the school and in high school, and so I have that connection to him. It's great to see. It was great to see a jock that is just a kind, likable guy and is the hero because it's common that when you have like a jock in fiction that he's going to be a jerk ass, a bully, etc. And also in the Firestorm comics, since the jock is the hero, the kind, likable guy, you have, for the bully, you have a nerd, which is something unique to have a nerd that is a jerk ass, that is a bully. That's not a dime a dozen. To have a nerd that is a bully, it's not a dime a dozen. And which, if I recall right, is Cliff Carmichael. So a great supporting character that is important to the Firestorm mythos, or the Firestorm universe, as far as Ronnie Raymond. And he also has an impressive. This is I happen to love the new design. This is what he looked like in Brightest. Correct. This is what he looks like with the new continuity design, including what he was shown. Ronnie Raymond was shown when he was resurrected in the Brightest Day storyline, which was, there's Blackest Night and then there's Brightest Day, and it has multiple DC superheroes get resurrected, including Firestorm Ronnie Raymond. And as you can see with his new costume, it has what basically is a vest. He has like the whole shoulder pads, but it's modified for the whole logos, and he doesn't have a leotard. It's just basically been reduced to a vest, which is terrific, because the whole thing with like the trunks really isn't necessary at all. And it really wasn't necessary even before, because you had Aquaman. He's just wearing tights and a fish scale shirt during that time, and so there was really no reason you couldn't have used this. Couldn't have had this design like when Firestorm first debuted. I'm just saying that it's just something they could have done before. But I'm still extremely happy that they still used a redesign. Just saying that. And as you can see with his boots, they did get modified. Instead of just being simple straight across or vertical boots, these boots, they have, from what you can see, there's at least somewhat of a different design instead of just a common dime a dozen design if you look closely at his boots. And so yeah, he has excellent design. And then moving on, he does have these. I will show the intro, like that Galactic Guardians intro. I will show that, and I'm also talking about his powers that make him a standout, which I'll be reading from DC Wikia, using that as the source. He does have density. He does have density control, which is tied in. This is of New Earth, so this is of new continuity, not of original or classic continuity. The density control, this is a great, terrific power. Complete control over molecules. They can change the density of solids, liquids, and gases as light as hydrogen or as heavy as uranium. So that's a great use of the science-related powers, because that's a great use of science-related powers and something unique to be able to have that whole density control. And he also has similar to the similar to the Mutant Havoc. He has this whole energy absorption where he can absorb massive amount of energy, as well as be able to. So he's able to absorb many different types of energy, similar to the Mutant Havoc that is the brother of Cyclops. And he's most commonly the elements energy associated with life and human body are absorbed. So that's terrific. That's terrific also. And they're saying also solar energy is a possible source of energy that can work as an emergency battery, which for elements out of power, which obviously is excellent, because I don't imagine there's going to be, because usually Firestorm's most likely to be, since he's the Earth superhero, he's most likely to be on Earth, so even if he needs an emergency battery, he's likely to be in the exact right spot, and the sun is able to be used as his emergency battery when he needs it, while it's just constantly being used by Superman, since he gets his power. His powers are because of the whole being solar powered. And then you have these energy projection. He's able to project massive amounts of different kinds of energy. Again, that's pretty much similar to exactly what Havoc can do, and it's a great power that can be shown off in the comic books visually. And there's also the naturally occurring energy projected by Firestorm, which I'm not surprised, because his origin involved the nuclear energy, which are nuclear blast. The natural occurring energy projected by Firestorm are nuclear blasts. Again, is a great power that can be shown off visually. Badass, great power. However, elements can project a number of different energies at will. So that could be, I assume that means that there could be like multiple different kind of energies being shown, even if he's just projecting the natural nuclear blasts. He also has the whole enhanced vision, which of course could be shown, which is also called Quark vision, tied to the Firestorm Matrix. And has an enhanced vision due to the nuclear nature, and there's different kinds of vision experience, which are X-ray vision, microscopic, and thermal vision. So that's a great different sets of vision. He has the whole flight common that other superheroes have, but says he's been clocked at over 600 miles per hour. Theoretically, they can fly much faster, so possible, like Superman, he has that power to maybe at will move great speed, but even if not close to same as but even with that being clocked at over 600 miles per hour, that's damn fast. Don't know the exact limit, but if you're going over 600 him traveling over 600 miles per hour is damn fast. And then the one that really stands out, there's the molecular reconstruction, which again is tied to the Firestorm Matrix. He has the ability, which is exactly as what you think it would be, which is he can break down and reapply subatomic particles, as well as break up the molecular structure of elements and rearrange them. So he can, if you wanted to rearrange a car or Skittles or water, etc., that's something he can do. Except it does have a big kind of, I don't want exactly call it flaw, but this isn't just something you can just point and then it just happens, because it says to do this, the element, no doubt another word for user, must know the exact elemental makeup of the object or human. So it's just not something they can just point at that human or object and that's just will be altered to Skittles, dirt, water, etc. They have to know the exact elemental makeup of that object or human. It says most firestorms cannot affect living tissue, but it is possible, though very unstable. So it's really not surprising that he's used it that much at all, because it just has that huge drawback of being very unstable, even if it can be used. And plus, it's just, so that's a huge drawback. He doesn't want to do something that's going to be unstable. And Ronnie Raymond is being pretty much similar to Superman. There's just certain lines he's just not going to cross, which also makes him a great likable superhero, in that he has a really, in that whole same area, that he has a really great heart. There's just certain lines he's just not going to cross, because he's simply a good guy, or a good person, as Batman would call Superman. Clark is a good person. That he said about Superman. Phasing, it's the whole thing. Again, this is another one of the standout powers, because it's similar to what Shadowcat can use, where he can fly through. It says, although they have direct control over an object's density, they can use this ability on themselves and only themselves, and affect living tissue to pass through objects. So if you wanted to fly through a wall, a door, a car, etc., that's something you can do. So it's pretty much, it is a ghost style power, which is also great, something that can be shown, that does get shown in the intro of Galactic Guardians. The psychic link, again, this is excellent power that is really puts them to stand out when When he wants to become Firestorm, Ronnie Raymond merges with Professor Stein, the Brainiac, and Professor Stein, while Ronnie Raymond is the one visually shown, also with him is Professor Stein, the Brainiac. So if he needs help with science, anything science stuff, the Brainiac, that is Professor Stein, he can help him with that. And he's represented mainly as a floating head, and he's able to communicate him with that whole psychic link. And it says they can be represented however they'd like, but meaning, so if he wanted to be represented as the head of a bull or something else, it could be that, but the Matrix defaults them to a disembodied head, no doubt for simplicity, just for simplicity, which has been shown in comic books of the floating head of Professor Stein or whoever else is the second person merge and isn't the one visibly shown. So you have two persons in one. That's a standout for a superhero. It's not like that's a dime a dozen idea. That's an excellent, unique idea. I'm not going to go over all of them, but these are like the great powers I think are excellent, terrific. And like most other superheroes, he does have the superhuman durability as far as what level it's saying here. They can survive bullets and stab wounds, as well as the physical damage of exploding constantly. So it does sound like he is, I mean, that exploding constantly, that's pretty damn freaking impressive. So it kind of does sound like he might be, this like New Earth version might be in the league of Superman, possibly, maybe. Superhuman strength, increased amount, certain elements can tap into energy and become large. Hulking entities, however, such strength can be quite destructive to host if not used sparingly. So obviously it can increase the size, but this comes at the price that it can be quite destructive to host if it's not used sparingly. So it's just not something you can do without any negative consequences or drawbacks at all. So it's not likely to be used a high amount as far as that colossal superhuman strength. And transformation, okay, never mind. That was just something basic information about transformation, and that's why I'm a fan of Firestorm Ronnie Raymond, the original Firestorm. There was his replacement, Jason Rush, a black man, was used because Ronnie Raymond was killed, and to replace him, they used a black man, Jason Rush. So Ronnie Raymond, the white man, is the original Firestorm before his replacement. After Ronnie got killed, is Jason Rush, that is a black man. And I'm now going to show you that how he is shown in that Superpowers team or Super Friends team, Galactic Guardians intro. This won't be the entire thing, mainly because I don't want this video to get flagged for copyright infringement. So I'm only going to be showing the portion that mainly shows Firestorm. Okay, waiting. Don't want that ad. Pretty freaking badass power, definitely a standout. Phases through the robots and then uses some type of energy blast, and then they just explode. And that is my video, why I am a Firestorm Ronnie Raymond fan.